Hello and welcome. My name is Ethan Amlett-Stroll, and in today's video I'll be walking you through how to create a simple NDA template for a contact. This video's function is to primarily show you how the DocuSign functionality works within DocumentsCorePack. This video also serves as a little bit of a visual guide for a sample template that we offer on our website. For more information on that template and a link to our website in general, please make sure you check out the video description down below. Now then, let's get started. So, here we are in Microsoft Word. You already see that we have a bit of text here in our template, along with some X fields that we'll be filling in soon. Before we get into creating the template though, it is important to establish what the purpose of this template is. As you might have already been able to guess, this template is basically there in order to have a template for an NDA. NDA being a non-disclosure agreement. This template basically will have an overview of the NDA itself, along with the notable fields, our DocuSign fields that we will be pulling and inserting into the document here in just a moment. Most of this template is, of course, text, so there's not going to be a whole lot that we need to showcase here, but of course, the DocuSign functionality is important, and we'll be showcasing how exactly that works. Before we go further though, I think it would be important to show what exactly we're trying to go for here. So I already have a PDF of the result document that we want to create. It looks very much similar to what you already saw here in Word, but with the key differences being the X fields are already replaced with our DocuSign fields, and one of them being replaced by our date field. So you see here, this comes directly from DocuSign. I have PTM USA and PTM EU as our DocuSign company fields, and then down below here are two signature fields. That's the kind of result that we're trying to go for here. So let's get back to our template and start building it up. First things first though, of course, we need to make sure we set the type up here. Since we want to create this for a contact, we got to make sure we find the contact entity up here, right there. And of course, we need to set a name for our document. Let's not go with anything too fancy. Let's just call it NDA. Okay. NDA. That way, whenever you generate this document, the result document will always have this as the document name. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to put in a bit of a date for this part. This says here, this non-disclosure agreement is made as of XXX effective date. So we're going to replace this with an advanced string field. So go to computed item and go to advanced string. And here all we're going to put in is just enter date, time, and with those parentheses and hit OK. So that way now whenever this is created we'll get to the current date. That was simple of course, but now we need to get into these two fields. The NDA continues by saying it is by and between the disclosing party and the receiving party. For these two fields, we want to add in our DocuSign company signer fields. We can do that by just moving that, backspacing, and then going back down here to insert field. So if you already have DocuSign configured, this will no longer be grayed out. You can see we have other functionalities, of course. Those are grayed out since that's not set up yet. But right now, of course, the focus is on DocuSign, and you can see that this is not grayed out. So all you have to do is go down there, hover over insert DocuSign item, and in our case, insert a company field. And we're going to go ahead and do that for this field as well. DocuSign, company, and then just add a space. There we go. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, Of course, what's also important is to make sure that you have these fields configured right. If we click on this field and then go to field properties, this window will come up and you will see that there's a few different options here. This one is already set to be belonging to signer 1, which is okay, we want that. But you can also set the signer order if you'd like. And we do want to do that, so we can set this to 1. Then we're just going to hit OK. And then we can move on to the next field here as well. Click in Field Properties. You will see that this has still signer 1 as who it belongs to, and there's nothing else here. But in this case, we want this to belong to a different signer. So when you click on the drop-down, you can just hit Add New One, and it will automatically say it belongs to signer 2 and set the signer order to 2 as well, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want here. And so we can hit OK on that. That's actually all you need to do to configure these 2 fields. So now the next thing that you need to do is go down to the signature section here, and now we need to add 2 signature fields to this document. So we're going to go ahead and go down to Disclosing Party, click on Insert Field, DocuSign item, and now we're going to add, signature. And we're going to do the same here. DocuSign item, signature, there. There we have it. Once again, these 2 fields can also be configured. And since this is belonging to the disclosing party, we're going to leave this as signer 1 and signer order also 1. And then for this one, we want this to, we want this to belong to signer 2, and the sign order is automatically set to signer order 2. Then we can hit OK, and there we go. And that's actually all you really need to do to set this up, at least for this sample template. It's pretty straightforward, but of course, we're not done quite yet. Now, once we've got them all configured, now we need to go to save our template. So we're going to click on Save Template, and we are just going to save this as NDA. And so that'll take a moment just to save. And once this is done saving, now we need to go over to our environment. So here we are in our Dynamics instance. You'll see that I already have a sample record up here of Abraham McCormick. If you have been following some of these other sample template videos, you should probably be familiar with this name at this point. The next thing we need to do is actually create the document. So to create the document, we can go over to these the 3 dots button here and go to Create Document. For your instance, it might actually already be in the toolbar up here, but there might be some instances where the toolbar is a little bit crowded, so you can find the Create Document button here instead. When we click on it, you'll see it'll bring us to our template list, and we'll just click NDA and hit Next. Okay, so now this brings us to the next part of the DocumentsCorePack dialog. You'll see that we have a few different options here. Out of these options, you'll see that we have, there's two things I'd like to focus on here. The attached document and then the in-person, or the recipients. Whenever you want to take one of the documents that you've created that have DocuSign fields, you want to make sure you can set this as a DocuSign email. And then you also want to make sure you set the recipients accordingly. The number of recipients here will depend on the number of recipients you specified in your document. Since we specified 2, there are 2 recipients. In our case, just to demonstrate how this looks whenever we send out the email, we are going to just set the recipients both to the system administrator, which is me, and then we're going to create the document. Now, once the document has been created, you can preview it, of course, and you can see what it looks like, but of course, the fields are blank because nobody has signed that yet. So we're just going to go ahead and click Finish. And once that is finished, then it will send the email to the recipients that you have selected. So we'll go check that out here in just a second. It might take a little bit to send it out. Process can take a little bit of time, but once it's done, then we can go check our email. Okay. So now that it's finished, we can go check our email. And you can see that we already have the first email sent to us. Move myself out of the way there. You can then check the email. Ethan should also do document review and sign. We can review the document. Let's see, let's block that. And then you can see here that it is asking us to sign. And we'll do that. We'll set this one to PTM USA, and then just sign. And then we can just finish it up there. And then we can just say thanks to that. Okay, and so that'll be signed from one recipient's perspective. Now we need to sign as the other recipient. And we'll say PTMU, and then we'll sign here. And of course, you will notice that these are the fields that we had inserted in the document. Our signer fields and our company fields. Then we can just hit finish. Thanks. And then ultimately, here we are. We can see the final document. And this is what our final result looks like. You'll see that there's, of course, some extra details. But you'll see that we have our two fields now signed and our two signature fields signed. And with both of them filled in, this indicates that this template has been successfully sent out and finished. So, with that said, that means it looks like everything worked well, and that means we're done with this template. In that case, I have to say that I hope that this video has been helpful. I hope this video was able to showcase our DocuSign features well. If this video was helpful, please make sure to go check out our channel for other related videos, and check out the video description for a link to our website and a link to this very sample template that we've worked on here. Once again, I hope you found this helpful. Do consider subscribing to our channel, and I guess I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.